Rebecca Slaughter. President Trump tried to fire her back in March. Eamon, take it away.
Courtney, that's right. And Commissioner Slaughter, thank you for being here. I want to start with this. You are the only other official in Washington that the president is trying to fire right now. You've been fighting that since earlier this year, so you know more than anybody how Lisa Cook might be feeling today and what her legal options might be. But let's bring everybody up to speed on your case and just give us a sense of where things stand right now. Earlier this year, the president tried to fire you. That went to the courts. Tell us how that's been playing out.
Sure. So, in March of this year, the president tried to fire myself and my fellow Democratic Commissioner Alvaro Bedoya. We sued and challenged that firing. It went to a hearing in the district court. And in July, the district court issued a decision saying that the president was wrong and we were right. And in fact, that firing was illegal. So that decision came down in the evening on a Thursday night. 9 a.m. Friday morning, I was back in the building at the FTC. It was really, really great to be back. And then a couple days later, the appeals court stayed that lower court decision pending appeal. So now we are waiting for the appeals case to work its way through the courts.
So what happened to you on day one? I mean, this is sort of analogous, not exactly the same as what's happening over at the Fed today, but there are big questions right now about whether Lisa Cook is at work today, whether her devices work, whether she has access to email, whether she can get into the building at the Fed. Give us what your experience was earlier this year.
Well, my experience was that almost immediately my devices stopped working. I was told that my access to the building would be cut off. I was actually at our local elementary school when I found out I was fired, so I wasn't in the building when it happened. But I did not try to go back to the building the next day because it was very clear that the chairman of the FTC was going to enthusiastically comply with the president's attempt to fire us. And so I wouldn't be let in the building, and I didn't want to put the career staff who work there in the position of trying to navigate that. So we turned to the courts pretty quickly.
And I think that's the key distinction between your case and the Cook case that we're watching play out today, right, is that you worked for an FTC that was controlled by the Trump administration, and the person who's running the FTC enthusiastically supported the president's decision to try to fire you earlier this year. At the Fed, it's a different kettle of fish because we've got Jay Powell running the Fed. He has insisted that the Fed is independent. He's insisted that the president doesn't have any authority to fire him. And so it's now unclear what plays out going forward. Does Powell allow Cook into the building? Does he allow her access to her systems? If he does that put him more in the crosshairs of the president than he already was, if that's even possible? As you watch all that play out, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I think those are really good questions. I think it's important to note, though, that the FTC chairman in place right now is the first FTC chairman not to defend the independence of the FTC. And I was the first FTC commissioner to be fired since 1933 when FDR tried to fire a commissioner and then a unanimous Supreme Court said that it was illegal. So that decision to cede the independence was one that the FTC chairman made, not one that exists in the law. But you're right that it's interesting to see what will happen. I think an important thing to note is that the president's attempt to claim cause, as we just heard, basically allegations that he says amount to cause to fire Governor Cook, it means that if a president can fire someone for a manufactured cause, they can fire someone for no cause at all, even if there are removal protections in law, in the statute. And in that sense, Lisa Cook is in a very similar position to the one that I am in.
Okay, but the president argues, look, certainly the federal government and he, in his view, the Fed should be doing what he says they should be doing. Why shouldn't a democratically elected president of the United States who won a resounding victory in November of last year, why shouldn't he be able to fire people from these government jobs and put in people he wants?
Because the laws of the United States say that he can't for no reason at all or for manufactured cause. The laws that were passed by Congress, signed by a president, have been in place for a century, have some limited protections on the president's ability to control these independent agencies. And that is because Congress set it up to protect the markets and the people who depend on the markets to operate with integrity and stability and certainty. And I think that's the thing that we shouldn't lose sight of here. This isn't about Lisa Cook's job or my job. This is about the markets and the economy that people rely on to put food on the table. And what people are worried about right now is high prices. They are worried about their ability to support their families. And if there is a crash in the markets, they're going to be really, really worried. If there isn't an independent, if there aren't any really independent regulators out there who are going to be able to provide some guardrails and some protections. And that's what this is really about at the end of the day.
So last question for you. We've done sort of the legality of this, the politics of it, why it's important. What do you think Lisa Cook is feeling today, given your experience on the receiving end of one of these? How does that play emotionally?
Well, I don't know Lisa Cook personally, but I can tell you from my experience, I felt and continue to feel really, really worried for the institution that I served for 7 years and the people that it serves. That is what is really animating and incredibly distressing. I mean, I continue to love my job at the FTC, and it is an incredible honor to get to serve, but it's most importantly a duty, a privilege to try to help make the economy more fair, more equitable, provide more opportunities for people, and the inability to do that work is incredibly frustrating.